Welcome to Let's Play Tinitina's Assault on Dragonkeep Extras. Before we get into the multiplayer content, the arenas and the raid, I want to just round up a few tidbits throughout the DLC. First off, we have Tinitina's vending machines in the tavern. They cost 2 iridium a pop and are basically similar to the vending machines in Sanctuary. They're neat, but probably not that useful if you're in the end game.
Wow.
After the game, Butt Stallion appears in Flamemark Refuge. These 2 quests teach you why she's there.
Butt Stallion wants you to pet her.
How are we supposed to pet her?
Slap her on the badonkadonk. Duh.
I pet the pretty pony.
Roll to see if she loves it. She loves it.
You are the prettiest pony.
Uh-oh. It looks like Butt Stallion is hungry.
What should we feed her?
She's a glamorous queen made of diamonds, Lily of the Valley. You feed her the finer things in life, like iridium. Butt Stallion leaves you a present. It smells of rainbows and summer days.
Ew.
So if we just keep feeding her valuables, she'll poop out loot? That's what you're saying?
Hi, so this.
You're a weird kid.
Once the 2 quests are done, you can keep feeding Butt Stallion as much iridium as you like. And it's actually pretty reliable, at least compared to some of the other iridium draining stuff in the game.
That is lovely.
Hey. Hey, Mordecai. Hey. Hey. Love you.
Don't be weird.
In the forest, go to the fork in the path and look up into the tree. This is pretty minor, but at least it ties into a badass ranked challenge. And it's pretty cute.
Oh man!
I'm too fast for ya.
This is tiny! Tiny things are to frickin' get us! Bring her back here!
In the Mines of Avarice, you can actually solve the dwarven puzzle legitimately. I mean, there's no reason why you would want to the first time around, because punching it is kind of satisfying, and it's an optional objective anyway, you don't want to miss out on that. But you can solve it. The trick is, the 6 devices all scramble the Rubik's Cube away from completion, one at a time. So you just track the order they activate, and then activate them in reverse. If you do lose track, the devices actually just fail to activate if you go in the wrong order, so it's fairly easy to do. There's not really much to it.
Whoa, you solved my devious puzzle. Nice.
You guys are as smart as...
Completing it opens the dwarven rune door like before, but also another door on the opposite side, containing a dice chest and a Cult of the Vault symbol. In Hatred's Shadow, there's a spot early on just off the beaten path. If you look along the wall, you'll see it's an enemy called the Darkness. This is a reference to a classic D&D skit by the Dead Alewives. You can shoot it with regular damage. You get an achievement and it reveals a door, but the door doesn't open under normal circumstances. Now just save and quit, reload, and this time you don't attack the Darkness with any regular weapon. You have to have the grenade mod Magic Missile. Again, this is more of the Dead Alewives reference. Cast Magic Missile in the Darkness, it destroys it instantly, and the door opens this time to reveal a dice chest. While we're in Hatred's Shadow, go past the little tent where one of the loot ninja suspects were, and jump off. This little crow's nest has a dice chest on it. It's actually a pretty tough jump, so make sure to time it right.
That is beautiful.
Remember the sacrifice altar in Dragon Keep?
Place your meager offering on the altar, and you may be rewarded.
Like I said before, you give up one of your items, and it gives you a reward in return.
This weapon shall be yours.
After each reward, just wait for the flame to come back and do it again.
And so, I shall make it rain. I gift you an explosion. Your reward is these chumps.
I see a badass!
There's an okay chance for it to drop rare loot, but it's really more of a time sink than anything. While you're there, go ahead and fight the handsome sorcerer again. Then when you're done, go to the jump-off point and drop very carefully onto a ledge with a dice chest on it. After you complete the DLC, head back to the Lair of Infinite Agony for a quick little quest.
I am Mr. Miz. If you choose to give me a great deal of your treasure, I will give you an amulet in return. Personally, if I had to choose only one item to help me in my quest, it would be this amulet. I await your decision.
He's talking about a relic item called the Mysterious Amulet. It creates a neat little aura the more players are in the game, but its actual effects, from what I can tell, from what I've read, are so dubious and debatable that it might actually be completely useless. But on the other hand, it's worth an achievement if you equipment, the achievement. It's ridiculously expensive for such a useless item, but completionists can afford to give up the cash this late in the game. Just grab it and put it in the safe forever, and on the next playthrough, just punch him.
The amulet is yours. You will discover its purpose in time. The secret lies in Fandir's grasp.
More useless clues. So that's about it, but there's a couple more things to do before we start the multiplayer sessions. First, I'm changing specializations. I want to play a medic siren when we got 4 players worth of upscaling. It also gives me an excuse to put on one of the cleric class mods the DLC throws at you. On top of that, I'm trying out a mod. It's a third-person perspective mod. Now this looks really cool, but it has some drawbacks. It's unofficial, using a cheat engine to inject code that dynamically changes the camera position. Now it turns out that when bullets are fired, they originate from slightly behind the camera. So you can run into this problem where you're up against a solid object and your bullets hit behind you instead of what you want to hit. On top of that, object interaction and melee is dependent on both the crosshairs and the character's distance to the target. So because you're far back and to the side, interacting with chests and using melee suddenly becomes much more difficult to use. But all of that is countered by the fact that this looks really cool. I mean, really cool. It's awesome to see what your character actually looks like when they're in combat. Jumping around the areas, just all that stuff. So, for the multiplayer sessions, I'm going to record gameplay from this perspective. It'll all make a very interesting experiment. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show off, so I'll see you guys next time.